Hello, I'm Rocket. Welcome to this session about your virtual presence hierarchy of needs. This module is about your first and most important need, your network connectivity. The too long didn't read version of this, for video calls, use a wired network connection, stay off of Wi-Fi. This network connectivity is the most fundamental need in that without good connectivity, the rest of the hierarchy is on shaky ground. You can have a $500 microphone, a $5,000 camera with a great lens, install great lighting, and have excellent framing. But if your network cuts out, all bets are off. Wi-Fi has a higher probability of cutting out over a wired connection, and this is just because of the way Wi-Fi is designed. It doesn't have to do with good signal strength or your Wi-Fi equipment. It has to do with the inherent way the protocol operates. Whenever there is some interference in the signal, Wi-Fi will go through a retry process. This retry process often disrupts your video call. When it does, you'll come across as garbled or breaking up. It's built into the Wi-Fi standard, this retry process. It's especially challenging when you're operating on a crowded frequency band like 2.4 gigahertz. I know this personally. I have pretty high-end Wi-Fi equipment here in my office, and my access point is right above my desk. Until I learned about Wi-Fi and how it operates, I was having all sorts of issues during calls. Things were breaking up. I was getting garbled. As soon as I switched to a wired connection, all of those issues cleared up. It's almost a given that when somebody starts having garbled video, or you have to say, "Oh, you're breaking up," they're on Wi-Fi. Test it out. Next time that happens in a call, ask them if they're on Wi-Fi. This isn't to discount Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is great for things like video streaming, browsing, downloading things, doing transactions, things where response time and latency aren't a consideration. When it comes to things like video streaming, you're downloading content that is getting cached on your device. So it can handle retries. It can handle it'll use buffering to deal with those. But when it comes to low latency video conference calls, there is no buffering or caching, so you end up breaking up or coming across as garbled. I expect that over time, new standards will emerge that make Wi-Fi more acceptable for video calls. But at this time, in early 2023, these standards aren't widely adopted and are saddled with backward compatibility requirements that continue with the retry behavior. What about cellular connections? Well, if you have a stable 4G or 5G connections and you're in a stable location, not driving or moving around, these can be better than Wi-Fi. Cellular is less prone to disruption just because somebody comes by with a device that's operating on the same frequency. There are several variables with cellular that you have to consider, such as congestion in your area, the signal strength to your tower, the backhaul capacity from the tower to the central switch, and so forth. Now, when you think about running a wired connection to your desk, you may think, "I can't do it." But take a few minutes before giving up and look at a few options. There are low-cost, 100-foot flat Ethernet cables that you can find on Amazon for $30 or less that are decent quality. If it's a matter of running cables through your wall, consider hiring somebody to get the work done. It might be more affordable and more available than you think. Here in the Bay Area, where I live, I use a service called Thumbtack to find people who do these types of jobs. Check your region for similar solutions. Well, what if all you have is Wi-Fi? First, try to see if you can use the 5 gigahertz channels. These tend to be less crowded and have higher capacity, although you will need to be closer to the access point to get the strong signal strength. How to tell if you're on a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi signal? Well, first, if you're on Mac OS, click the Wi-Fi symbol in the toolbar. Up will pop all of the information about the bands you're operating on and all the properties of your Wi-Fi connection. On Windows, you'll click the Wi-Fi symbol on the taskbar, look for the properties of Wi-Fi, and then a window will pop up with all that information. There are also Wi-Fi scanning solutions that check the congestion and signal strength of the different Wi-Fi signals in your area. See the notes in this video for some of those ideas. To close this video, I will reiterate. If you're on a high-stakes video call, especially if you're on a high-stakes video call, do your best to operate on a wired connection. This is just one in a series of virtual presence hierarchy of needs. Be sure to check out the remaining videos to get the full picture. With that, I'm Rocket. Let's go on to the next one.